Like and subscribe right now. Or else this will be in your bed tonight. Hope for certain things only to be disappointed, and anytime you are told something hopeful it doesn't work out. As a result, I never get excited for something until it actually happens. Ex-cons of Reddit, what was the hardest prison habit to break after being released? I didn't use a fork for a few weeks. Ate everything with a spoon without thinking. It's not the most interesting thing, but I hadn't noticed it posted here. Taking as long as you want in the shower. For the longest time after I got out, I took less than 5-minute showers. Doing laps. In prison, every time you get time on the yard, you do laps. Seriously, almost every single person does it too. When you get out, it's hard to break that habit. I find myself hoarding toilet paper under my bed. Sometimes I do it without thinking and I'll look under there and have 10 rolls of TP. I spent 72 months in prison for a tragic car accident that I had caused. After I was released, I kept telling my wife exactly what I was doing without her asking. She thought it was funny at first, but after a few weeks of it she was starting to get bothered. A somewhat friend of mine did a few years, and the one habit he couldn't shake was distrusting people. He said that people in prison are never nice. If they're nice, it's because of a hidden motive. Up to this day he still doesn't trust people who act nice, generous, or helpful towards him. Making prison commissary only food. Everyone around me thinks it is gross as hell to throw summer sausages, pickles, cheese, Doritos, Cheetos, and such into my ramen noodles. But good lord, I can't stop, and I have been out for 5 years. A couple guys I know, after being out for 5 to 10 years, wrap their arms around their plates and shovel food in their mouths at the speed of light. They are also super defensive of their food. When I first got to know them, I jokingly swiped a chip off one of their plates, and he flipped his fork up and demanded I give it back. Freaked me out a little bit. My uncle was in prison for a while and we talked a bit about his experience and how it affected him. He has a hard time not being violent. You'd never guess, since he mainly just sits in a corner and smokes. He's been out for nearly 10 years, and still always struggles with using his words. The guy cannot stand authority. He tells me that it's hard to listen to bosses when you know you're probably smarter and tougher than them. He knows most people feel this way, but he just can't ignore it. He's taken up professional carving so he can be his own boss. He's really in touch with our native roots now, on account of joining a First Nations gang in prison. Doesn't talk much. I don't know if that's because of prison, but he really only speaks if he wants to. Not the type of guy who likes to talk just to talk. Doesn't have a lot. He has some sort of abandonment issue or something, so he doesn't want a lot of things to miss if he goes back to prison. For all the time he doesn't spend with people, he's out with nature or doing something in the wilderness. I think it helps keep him calm and feel connected. Nice enough guy, but prison kind of messed him up, I think, and he's going to live his life being slightly disconnected with people. I had to completely change my sense of time. I agree with all the people who said they ate super fast, but then we would slowly walk back from the shower hall, any excuse for a few minutes more outside. I made sure I never consolidated enjoyable things. If I had a snack, I ate it and concentrated on it. If there was something good on TV, I watched it. Now, I'll snack while I watch a movie because there aren't enough hours in the day, but on the inside I was trying to make hours and days go away. I've got a good job now, and nice respectable friends, but I still react to confrontational situations more quickly, decisively and efficiently than they do. I'm able to pull back at the last minute, but it's pretty clear that violence is not a tool in their arsenal. Having your head on a swivel, protecting your personal property in an obsessive manner, and sizing everyone up. When I was locked up, I always knew what was going on 360 degrees around me. Only the last unit I was in had lockers with actual locks, so before that, I had to protect my commissary, paperwork and books all the time. Most people would fight you to take your stuff because that is the respectful way to do it, but cat burglars are the worst. They sneak around and just take it. They get beat up by everyone when they get caught. It is code, you want my stuff, come get it. Not sneaking around and stealing it. I've been out for almost a year and a half, but I still constantly size people up. No matter where it is, grocery store, Walmart, walking down the street, I still analyze each person, and figure my best course of action if we have to fight. One of my foster sons came to us from juvie. Every meal his arm was around his plate and he wolfed down his food. My mastiff couldn't keep up. He always ate back to the wall hunched. Took my wife and I a month to show him no one would take his food, and we had plenty more. I had to win over his trust. That takes time and a lot of understanding on both sides. I have been very fortunate to have great boys that just needed to know someone gave a damn. I always stuck to my word and was always fair and honest. Hard work on the farm and as much fun and care as they need. All our boys went on to college or trade school or military careers. Out of 28 boys, only one went the other way. We took him in and got him through rehab, but lost him in the end. I managed to adopt most who wanted to be adopted, but I did leave all in a much better place, self-sufficient and capable of meeting life's challenges. Yes, many nights were pain and tears, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was all worth it in the end. P.S. My wife and I never placed with females, as we were good at dealing with behavior problem males. It was just a knack we had. The family farm made it easy to take boys on, and we had plenty of work. Our record of 28-1 is pretty good, I think. PSS our last boy is 15, does well in school which he attends with my grandson, his best pal. I'm finally hanging up my dad hat in 3 years at age 74. Constantly looking over my shoulder. By far the hardest conditioning to break, which I haven't and doubt I ever will, is the constant pessimism and cautious optimism. You see, when you're waiting to work your way through court, get a deal, and get sentenced, you will have your dates changed 50 times. Hope for certain things only to be disappointed, and any time you are told something hopeful it doesn't work out. As a result, I never get excited for something until it actually happens. When my wife told me we were pregnant, I already knew from her symptoms that she was, but still, you never know for sure till you take the test. I was obviously happy, but because I'm always cautiously optimistic and rarely show emotion, I couldn't feel comfortable or excited until I knew that my developing daughter was healthy. Even then, it didn't really hit me till she was born. You can apply this to anything, especially big events. Getting engaged, planning the wedding, buying a house, anything. I still hear from my wife how I wasn't crazy surprised or excited to be having a kid. I actually was the half of the relationship who was dead set on a kid when my wife supposedly could have gone either way. You just can't get your hopes up or look forward to anything until it is here or has happened. I've been home over 7 years now and with my wife for 6.5. She's truly the catalyst that motivated me to truly change my life and to not give any more of my life to the system, but she'll never know how happy she makes me because she misinterprets my cautious optimism and realism for pessimism or indifference. I did almost 7 years. Been out 2 years. I'm 35. From Wisconsin. Wisconsin has a law called truth in sentencing. You do 100% of your time. There are multiple head counts where the guards make sure that all of the inmates are accounted for. Every morning at 5 a.m. I felt like I was doing something wrong if I slept past 5 a.m. It took me almost 6 months before I slept past 5 o'clock. Even now, 6 a.m. is sleeping in for me. It has allowed me to never be late to work, and show up every day. I was a drug dealer with no work ethic, and I slept until noon. Ironically, I am more successful than I ever thought I would be because of this habit. I actually just got poached by another company who offered me a 150% salary increase. Nice to see you, new tax bracket. In 2 years, I have become a model parolee. My life is great. I married my wife last September. I go to therapy for a multitude of conditions that manifested while I was a guest of the state. I was diagnosed with general and social anxiety disorder, and PTSD. I was out for a few months and I had a panic attack. I had no idea what was happening to me. I was literally paralyzed and afraid. I thought prison ruined me. It made me a better person in general. I am not praising Wisconsin's Department of Corrections by any means. The guards dehumanized the inmates and treated us like pure garbage with no hope. They always told people you'll be back. I won't be back. People that go back produce job security. They want people to come back, so they do what they can to steal your dreams. I changed myself. Prison allowed me to step back and really look at my life. I saw who I hurt. I saw who was there for me. I saw who abandoned me. I became focused on change after my 3rd year. I contemplated suicide because I wasn't even half done with my sentence. After I seriously thought about hanging my life up, I committed myself to being the best human being I could be. I revolted by behaving, teaching myself things, and being positive. My life is now amazing. I'm surrounded by people who love me and support me. All of the ex-cons reading this, and people just interested in this thread, that label is bullcrap. We are human beings with feelings. We can change. Stay positive and stay hopeful. Never give up. All of my fellow Redditors, one love. Like and subscribe for more r/ask Reddit videos.